All right, I am excited to chat with you two gentlemen here. Jake, let's start off with you. Take me behind the decision of bringing the brothers on this journey with you. Was it like a no-brainer whenever you knew you had to bring two people with you?
Uh, you know, Actually, it was kind of the other way around. Austin was the one that did it for us. And so I don't know why he picked me, honestly, out of all of us, because he's an outdoorsy guy. He knows that I work at a credit union. So I'm like the last of the brothers he should have taken. So, it's more up to him on who came. And he just called me and said, "Hey, this is real. Do you want to get on a TV show?" And I was like, "Sure. All right, let's see what happens."
Austin, you want to follow up? You want to piggyback off that at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's six of us boys in our family, and so I just asked myself, like, which one of us is the most afraid of the dark? And I knew that was Jake, and so it felt like an obvious, obvious shoe-in for that role to be outside. No, I mean, yeah, there's six of us boys, and so I just reached out to the first two, and they both were like, yeah, of course, let's do it. And so yeah, there wasn't a ton of thought that went into it.
Austin, back to you. I think one of my favorite things about you guys at headquarters is you almost knew that there was specific gameplay going on that you needed to do, right? But at what point did you start to see that headquarters was just as much as about gameplay as it was looking after Jake in the wild out there?
Um, Honestly, I think you're giving me too much credit. I don't think I realized that until the like maybe the finale. And I I know you're laughing, but that's the truth, man. I think it was pretty. It took us a long time, that there was no strategy until close to the end, and then our strategy was just, hey, let's do whatever it takes to get Jake to the finale, and then let's get the strongest teams to the finale. Um, and that was it. So don't give me too much credit. There wasn't gameplay going on. Like I'm not that smart.
Jake, speaking of that, you fell victim to quite a few empty boxes. I think it got to the point where it was almost a joke, but take us behind maybe the first one and then of course like the 93rd empty box and what's kind of going through your head in those moments.
Yeah. I mean, if you keep in mind that this is a game and you're walking into it going, things are going to happen, curveballs are going to happen, you know it's going to happen. So when it does, what can you do about it? You can sit there and complain about it or just roll with the punches. And that's kind of what it was. But in the beginning, I knew that we were sacrificing for other people. I didn't take the bread. We are trying to like show that, hey, we're not trying to hose people. We're just trying to play a straight up game. And then after maybe like three or four, I started realizing, oh, I'm actually being targeted at this point. So this is no longer like, hey, we're all sacrificing. It's no, I'm being targeted. But it also gave me confidence. If we're being targeted, that meant that we were doing well and everyone saw it. So I kind of took that as a feather in our team's cap to just realize that we're doing a good job. And so people are going to go after the strongest, and that's fine.
Yeah, Austin, to you, one of the most shocking moments I think in this entire show was watching Woody throw that steak into the water. How How traumatic was it in headquarters? And maybe what was the reaction like in headquarters watching that moment completely unfold?
Yeah, that was a wild one for sure. I think I think it just caught everyone off guard, right? Because when you're hearing 24 hours a day from all these survivalists just about how hungry and tired and weak, you're hearing all these things. Um, it's hard, man. It's really hard. Like HQ looks fun, but it is stressful. Um, and it just takes a toll on you. And so to see that stake go out, I mean, it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter if it was Haley, Megan, Woody, Jay. Like I didn't get. It was awesome to see something like that go out and just be like, yes, here's this moment of like someone's gonna get something really impactful, right? And it was like 15 minutes later, that thing is sailing into the water, and I'm just sitting there like, what is happening right now? I could not script that any better. I mean, that was just insane.
It was funny because it's like almost one of those, it's almost felt like a scripted reality moment because it was like, there's no
100%.
way that somebody that has no food is just going to toss it, throw it like he's, Dan
Yeah.
Marino out here, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
Dan
And
Marino.
I made a comment on the episode about how, like, I think it's important for the HQ people to sit and have to watch those difficult things happen. And the reason is it was ultimately our decisions that put them in those situations, right? It was our shortcomings or our failures or our successes, whatever. But we were ultimately the ones forcing Jake to suffer, or survivalists. And so I Justin and I were like, we will sit and watch every single, win and every single loss. Like, we will watch it all. And so sitting there watching that was, I mean, that was like peak entertainment TV, man. It was just so good.
you hear that, Extracted season two people, they want the bed in the headquarters, so they have to watch it the entire time. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Jake, talk to me about the resetting of camp. How much did that play into the mind frame as you're trying to finish the quote unquote get race here?
Yeah, I mean, there were two moments in that whole time that I was actually really worried about what was happening. And it was when I lost items. And then when we got exiled, I had to pause and I sat there for probably a good 5 minutes thinking to myself, how do I overcome this one? This is a monster. And at the time, I wasn't totally sure it was just me or if it's everybody. And so when I thought it was just me at first, I mean, it took a mental toll because I'm going, how is this fair? How am I going to be able to overcome this when everyone else is still sitting at their shelters? But then I realized as I was thinking about, okay, actually isn't just me, it's everybody. And then I started thinking, if we're all in the same boat and I feel like I'm doing very well, that means that everybody else is doing not as well. And so I felt there's a lot of confidence going, we can still do this. The playing field is leveled, and I still am feeling pretty dang good about where we're at with our situation. So it did give me a lot of pause. That was the worst moment of the whole show, was losing my camp and that security of everything I had there. I built so much and it just went up in smoke.
Yeah, Austin, as you're preparing for this five-letter word that we didn't at the time you didn't realize was as going to be as impactful as it eventually was, talk to me about watching Jake fumble through every other word in the alphabet and dictionary than his own son's name. Because obviously,
So
right there in that moment, like Megan, or not Megan,
yeah,
Haley was done, right? You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
at this any given moment, like his game
yeah.
could be over here, right?
Yeah, I mean, Justin and I were so in sync at HQ the entire time. There were no disagreements, there were no arguments. Like, we were on the same page. And quite often, Jake was picking up on that and knew exactly what we wanted him to do, what we needed from him. Like, we were in sync the whole time until we got to the five
Yeah.
letter passcode at
Yeah.
the end. And it was funny because as we were picking it, Justin and I look at each other, and it took us 5 seconds, right? We look at each other and we're like, what's the first thing that you thought of? Brody. We both said it like simultaneously. We're like fist bump, like, this is it, done deal, too easy. And so watching Jake struggle, I was like just pulling my hair out. It was
Yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close, and obviously, I know you haven't probably seen the episode yet. But Jake, are you prepared for the backlash there, man?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been dreading this moment since we left. I knew this was going to be so bad. And to not remember, hey, my son's name as something to think about as a code word, immediately I'm like, this is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. This is going to be terrible. So I, yeah, it is what it is. So I know it's going to come and I'm going to get made fun of just relentlessly from my family and friends. But yeah, it happened.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's almost like those little missteps right there almost kind of it puts you so far behind Haley. What was
Yeah.
it like kind of hearing on that little satellite phone that Haley just opened up the $250,000?
Oh man. I mean, we knew that we had a tough hill to climb being so far behind going into that last leg of the whole thing, that when I mean, right when they told me, hey, she's opening it right now, it was kind of like a culmination of, God, all this hard work, all this effort. We played a really good game. We did a great job, and then tripped at the finish line. I mean, it hurt for sure, but it also was kind of like, God, we did something incredible out there. And yeah, we didn't win, but we can at least pat ourselves on the back for playing an excellent game. So yeah, it's always going to sting looking back at it.
For sure. Jake, my final one to you is what did you learn about yourself throughout your journey on the show?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best. I mean, the best thing I learned was that you can push yourself to extraordinary levels when your back's up against the wall, and it's something that you don't get to do in everyday life. It's not something that you get to experience really that often. So when it finally happens to you and you kind of see what you're made of, I mean, for me, I couldn't be more proud of our team and myself for what we accomplished. So yeah, at the end of this, we didn't win, but I came out of this feeling way better. I have a very different outlook on life and what I'm capable of. So I got a lot of value out of doing this.